Guten Abend, good evening. Wir haben etwas die neue Situation, dass wir Leute online haben und auch im Center. Und so sind wir am weiter ausprobieren, aber es wird sicher auch gut funktionieren so. So today we have a bit of new situation that there's people online listening, and also we have a few guests in the center, and we are in the process of experimenting, and I'm sure it'll be fine. It's only that those who are here, they will get a cake at the end, and those who are online, they won't get a cake. So. Ich habe gesagt, diejenigen, die hier sitzen im Center, werden am Schluss noch einen Kuchen bekommen, aber ihr online, das können wir euch leider noch nicht bieten. So first half an hour meditation, and then afterwards we start with the talk. We prepare ourselves for a very relaxed and yet alert half an hour meditation. Wir bereiten uns vor für eine halbe Stunde sehr entspannte und doch sehr wache Meditation. Und ich beginne damit, meinen Körper zu entspannen. Ich sitze aufrecht und doch entspannt. Ich überprüfe, ob sich alle Stellen des Körpers gelöst anfühlen. I start with relaxing the body, sitting upright and yet relaxed. And I loosen all the muscles in the body. Starting from the feet, then the legs, the whole body, the neck, the face, all become very relaxed and soft. Ich beginne mit den Füßen, dann die Beine. Ich entspanne den ganzen Oberkörper, den Nacken, das Gesicht. Aber noch wichtiger ist, dass ich in mir ein Gefühl des Wohlbefindens entstehen lasse. Ein Gefühl der totalen Akzeptanz. Even more important is that I create a state of relaxation and well-being inside. I create a state of complete acceptance. There may be background noises, but it's all very far away. Ich will mich einfach gut mit mir selbst fühlen. let me just feel good with myself. And I imagine that I'm sailing on a boat into the ocean. Leaving everything behind. Stell mir vor, wie ich ins offene Meer segle und alles hinter mir lasse. Und bald gibt es um mich herum nur noch Wasser und Stille. And soon I'm surrounded only by water and calmness. And now I let go of this picture in my mind. And I only experience silence all around me. Ich lasse dieses Bild mit meinem Geist los. Und ich erfahre nur noch Stille um mich herum. Vollkommene Stille. In meiner Vorstellung lasse ich mich langsam ins Meer gleiten, immer tiefer. Aber anstatt dass es dunkler wird es immer heller. Slowly I let myself glide into the ocean. But it's not that it is getting ever darker, but there is more and more light. And the deeper I let myself sink, the more profound is the silence that surrounds me. I feel so protected. Je tiefer ich mich in diesen Ozean des Lichtes absinken lasse, desto tiefer ist die Stille, die ich um mich erfahre. fühle mich so geschützt in dieser Atmosphäre der Stille. Abgeschirmt von jeglichem Einfluss von außen. I feel so protected in his silence. Beyond any influence from the outside world. Not even the vibrations of the world can touch me here. As I am only surrounded by light and silence. Hier können mich nicht mal die Schwingungen der äußeren Welt erreichen. Da ich vollkommen umgeben bin von Licht und Stille. Und ich lächle in diese Stille hinein. Ein Lächeln der Zufriedenheit. Ein Lächeln der Sicherheit. I smile into this silence. It's a smile of contentment. A smile of feeling secure and protected. I feel the power of my own light increasing. From a central point, the light of the soul keeps shining ever brightly, ever brighter. In dieser Stille wird mein eigenes Licht immer stärker. Von einem zentralen Punkt strahlt das Licht der Seele immer und heller, heller aus. Als ob die Intensität des Lichtes der Seele langsam hochgedreht wird. The intensity of the soul's light and sparkle keeps increasing. Takes over. Until there is light and nothing but light. Inside. Das Licht der Seele wird intensiver, bis es nur noch Licht gibt im Innern. Es ist dieses bewusste Licht, das ewig ist. Während die Materie durch Transformation geht, erfreut sich die Seele ihrer Ewigkeit. It is this conscious living light of the soul that is eternal. Whereas matter goes through transformation, the soul enjoys its security, the security of being eternal. As the light of the soul is eternal, it reminds me of the light of God being eternal. So there is this eternal connection. Wenn ich die Ewigkeit des Lichtes der Seele erfahre, erinnert mich das an die Ewigkeit des göttlichen Lichtes. Und diese ewige Beziehung zwischen Seele und höchster Seele. Auf meine eigene Art und Weise bleibe ich für einen Moment in dieser Beziehung gefestigt. In my own way, for some time I remain connected with this eternal, supreme light.
Nothing to seek, nothing to gain, nothing to know, nothing to lose, nothing to do, but let go. Let's rest here, where the future and the past disappear. Here, in the sanctity of now. Nothing to prove, nothing to own, no one to be, nowhere to move, already home, already free. Let's just stay in the cave of the heart today and bask in this ever-present love. Nothing to change, nothing to fight. Only what is. What if what is just right? Why not trust this mystery living us and rest in the refuge of the self? Nothing to judge, no one to blame or fear. Only my face greeting me in the mirror. Nowhere to turn, nowhere to hide. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nothing outside. Nothing outside. That isn't inside myself. Let's just see. Is anyone here but me? Here in the present moment now. Nothing to know, nothing to do, no one to be. Nowhere to go, already home, already free. Nowhere to go, already home, already free. Nowhere to go, already home, already free. Before the body, before the story, before the name.
Für alle, die nicht Englisch sprechen, schön, dass ihr dabei wart bei der Meditation. Und eigentlich ist ein sehr spannendes Thema, Selbstdisziplin. Vielleicht sollten wir das auch noch in Deutsch anbieten. Wer weiß, wenn das Interesse da ist, können wir das machen. So now we will continue in English only. Sandeep, can you a bit more light, please? So I don't know, you must have been thinking about the topic before already a little bit. And I personally find it's a very deep topic. As I continued thinking about it, I realized the depth of this topic. And actually, I was giving this talk 1 week ago. And I find only now more and more I can realize the depth of what it all is about when we talk about self-discipline. And it's a little bit delicate. In a sense, we all know the power and the importance of self-discipline, what we can achieve when we have self-discipline. And I would think all of us have also one or the other, maybe quite many experiences of being frustrated with this, with self-discipline. How many times it happened to us that we thought, now this is what I'm going to do from now on. And then it just wouldn't happen. I don't see the faces of those who are online, but I also sit here. I think probably there's not a single one of us who hasn't got some experiences of really being disappointed about yourself. And to start with, I think it's important to see the difference of discipline and self-discipline. And discipline, when you look in the dictionary, it's even described as a mean of punishment even. You know, earlier they would call that discipline. I just need to discipline someone. And it's something that comes from outside that you have to follow whether you want or not. Right? A discipline. Even if someone gives you a nice advice and really has the expectation, no, I know it's good for you. You just have to follow this. It's something given from outside. And actually, we don't quite like that. We want to be free. Now, if something is very good for someone else, it doesn't mean that it's also good for me. And then if others have the expectation that I should follow their advice, then it's also a kind of pressure that comes from outside. And of course, we would do the same with others. This happens to us also. But here, we are talking about self-discipline. And I find that quite different. Self-discipline. I think it's about what I actually want to do. Not because someone told me, but because I want it. It's not about someone else, an institution or friend or family member. No, it's about myself. Self-discipline. And then I was thinking, you know, maybe we could think of ourselves as quite undisciplined, or that, yeah, that's really something that is lacking. But then I was a bit looking into my life, and then I found, but there's many things we actually do with discipline, or many areas in our lives. We are very disciplined in that. And so to start, I would like to ask you, just for 1-2 minutes, if you have a pen and paper, then just make 2 columns, and 1 column is for areas in your life where you actually manage to maintain a discipline. You can also grab pen and paper there if you want. Okay, good, fine. So 1 column for areas in your life where you manage to maintain a discipline, and then another column is where you don't manage or where you didn't manage. And especially when it comes to where you manage, don't miss out on even small things. The classical example is brushing the teeth. We do it. Whether we like it or not, whether we are tired or not, we just do it. And that's also interesting. So let us take 1-2 minutes to create these lists, to raise our awareness of where we are at with our discipline, with our self-discipline. So maybe half a minute more. It mustn't be complete, but only to realize that we do have discipline. Okay, good. You found out a few things? Yeah? What is actually the aim of tonight's evening, of tonight's talk? One aim, I would like that we feel a bit light about this topic, self-discipline, that we understand more. And then, of course, we would like to know what is the way to increase self-discipline. But then I found, let us not talk only theoretically about self-discipline, but let's make it practical. Discipline in what? What is important to me? And so I would like to take us then through a small process of making this practical then, so that we can benefit, because anyway we invest time, so there should be a return of this investment. So you have created this list, and you would have seen that there's areas in your life where we are so disciplined, especially when I think, for example, of our work. Well, it's not that you in the morning you don't feel like going to the job. No, you go, whether you like it or not, whether it's -10 or +30, you just have this discipline. You go because you understand the importance. Or, maybe someone of your friends or in your family is suddenly ill and you need to support or whatever. And then you do that. And I just found it interesting to see that there's areas in our lives where we have this, in German, it's this eiserne Selbstdisziplin, this very strong self-discipline, where we don't waver or doubt whether we should do it or not. So we have this energy, we carry that in us. But then what happens? Why do we manage to use this energy, this determination, this internal strength? Definitely, it's an internal strength, internal power. Why can we use that in some areas of our lives and in others not? So I was thinking about that. And then I was also looking at my list, and I found in every aspect where I do have this self-discipline, there is one of 3 points is present. And now I turn the camera a bit so that you can see the flip chart. So I found when there is discipline, when there is a very strong discipline, I would think that all of these 3 are there. There is love, or now I would rather add to that appreciation. I make them practical examples. There is love for doing this. Of course, when you like doing something, then it's easy to be disciplined. It's easy to get up in the morning. Maybe you go skiing or whatever. So you like doing it, so you do it naturally. And you understand the importance of it. You may not like it too much, but you understand it's very important, so you do it. You see this connection with discipline? It gives you the stamina to do something, no matter what. Or there is something else which I like very much. There's a great power in that. There's something inside, let's call it intuition, that tells you, do it. Do it. I think all of us, we have experienced incidences in our lives where you would do something and you just knew this is the right thing. It's no matter if the whole world told you something else, you just do it. Because this is actually the greatest strength. Because you feel, this is it, I need to do this. I had that a few times in my life. And I truly saw how this makes me unshakable. When I can trust this intuition, when the trust is there, when I learn to trust this feeling. And then others, maybe they turn against you, but you stay very calm inside. You don't even feel like you have to fight or to justify, because you know. Maybe you cannot even explain. That's why you don't even attempt to justify, but you know. So, and I really think if not at least one of this is there, love, understanding, or intuition, then there won't be the self-discipline. I worked for many years in a school. I remembered one girl, actually very interesting personality it is, this girl. But we would not be able to make her doing her homework. And we tried everything. And these were good teachers who worked with her. It wasn't possible. We tried even at school. It was not possible. Of course, she didn't like doing it. She didn't understand the importance. And afterwards, I thought probably we didn't work too much on that she really understands the importance. And of course, certainly she wouldn't have this call from inside, let's do homework. So this girl would not build up the self-discipline of doing the homework. Rather, she was extremely self-disciplined in not doing it. No? And sometimes, at times, it was very uncomfortable for her not to do it. But she was very firm in it. She had this self-discipline. I think probably she got something from that. The intention from all the teachers, from the principal, no? This tova bohu around her, her little personality, that's also something nice. So she had this self-discipline. I don't do homework. Anyway, this is not our case, but we need to have at least one of that. And I think to make our self-discipline strong, we actually need all three of that. And so we can work actually with that to build up our self-discipline. We come then back to that. I was discussing this topic with a friend, and she said, "Oh yeah, self-discipline. I have these little natural pills as a food supplement. Nowadays, we know that this can really support the body, like herbal pills or whatever. It's so good." And she said, "I have it. I take it with me. I don't take it." And I was thinking, and I could relate to that because it happened to me. I was thinking, how come? How is this possible? What is lacking? Can you relate to that? And then I thought, I think if I would really appreciate the impact and the possibility to have access to this kind of support for my health, and also appreciate that I can afford to buy it. If there would this appreciation, I would take it with deep love and with regard and respect. And guess what? The impact would be even more. We know about the very, very powerful placebo effect. So when you take this with appreciation and with love, the impact would definitely be more. And then, I thought if someone in a poor country with poor diet, if you would give them this, you say, you take one pill in the morning, or one in the evening, it's very good for you, and give you one to your children. And they had poor nutrition, would they forget it? They wouldn't. They would look forward in the evening to take it in the morning, because there is this appreciation. And I'm just playing around with these thoughts to understand more about self-discipline, why something doesn't happen and why something is happening. And so I think these are a very powerful entry points to self-discipline. How we can work with that, I will come back to that a little bit later. But then, something that really struck me, and this afternoon, when I thought again about it, it really made me kind of thoughtful. And that is, how is it? How sometimes we appreciate something, I understand the importance, and my inner voice tells me, do it. And then guess what? What happens? We don't do it. Isn't that strange? It really made me thinking, what is going on here? Something that I like, something that I understand, something that I want, and still it doesn't happen in my life. And I find it really kind of sad. It's a little tragedy when you think about it. And you may find your own expression, how you want to call this phenomena. I named it I think it's a lack of love. It's a lack of love for the self, really. How do I come to this conclusion? Can one read that? Yeah. Why a lack of love? Again, when I look at my life and I see how disciplined I can be, at work, for example, and then I compare with something that I found good for myself, and then it doesn't happen, there must be a lack of love, a lack of self-love. Can you relate to that? Otherwise it would happen. But how do we increase, or how do we create this self-love? And I thought first actually start with self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. And then we move on to self-appreciation. And then we move on to self-love. Self-acceptance. Accepting without any negative feelings. This is what I am. This is who I am. And it has very much to do with being conscious about the weaknesses. And really being able to stand there and say, yeah, that's me. This is a weakness of mine. I work on it. And at some point I will overcome it. But now it's there. It's okay. And then I think this is something so important, this self-acceptance. And I was a little bit, over the last 2-3 days, I was just a little bit experimenting with that. I was asking myself, how can I accept myself? Because the intellect, our intellect, the Verstand, he could very quickly turn against me. And when I say, oh, but this is, the intellect doesn't accept it and say, no, that's not good. And I just repeated to myself, self-acceptance, self-acceptance. Without intellectualizing it, self-acceptance. And I found that it's sinking in more and more. Also, when you think of every word carrying its vibration and energy, not just saying this, either loud or just internally, self-acceptance, I found that this energy is awakening in the self. And it's so important because if there's no self-acceptance, self-acceptance to me means I'm really rooted in the self. And I can only do that when I know, when I accept also my weaknesses, my weak points, and without, compromising the self-value. If I don't do that, then I build up like a virtual personality. We call that ego. I build up this personality which doesn't have any weaknesses. And to maintain this image is very tiring when we try to hide our weaknesses. At work, in with friends. Even I was thinking, even when it comes to yoga, yoga, which per definition means the connection with the divine, the connection with God. If I'm not self-centered, how can I be very much connected? In meditation, how can I connect with the divine? Because the divine is truth. So only if I'm really deep-rooted in my truth, then this connection is easily possible. But from a superficial personality, the connection may be possible to some extent. But especially we feel so much more at ease when we know this weakness of mine, and I'm aware, self-acceptance, self-appreciation. This is then more than only, yes, okay, I'm fine, but really appreciating all the good in the self, knowing about the good. And if we don't know, then we put ourselves maybe in the place of our friends. What would they tell you about you? What is good about you? And so this inner, we call it inner work, but it's not tiring work. It's work that uplifts us, that makes us strong and at ease inside. Appreciation, self-appreciation, self-love. I don't know, probably then the power of the love overrides the shadow of the weaknesses. And it's really the power of self-love can transform the weaknesses in ourselves. If we have love for all the qualities we carry in us. Can you relate to all that? That when we increase love for ourselves, then definitely there is more self-discipline. If I deeply honor myself, if I deeply honor the soul that I am, why would I not do what I know is important, what is good for me? I found another reason here, I didn't write it, a kind of a blockage in a sense of I don't believe that it's possible. I don't believe that I manage. So inside there is a rejection. No, I think I won't be able to do that. And this is also, it's a thought. It's a belief that I have about myself. And whatever belief we have on ourselves, we can change that belief. Simply repeating, I manage. I can do that. I can be loving to myself. But we need to find out what the blockage can be. So, now how to increase? Where is the starting point when it comes to self-discipline? First, it's a question, well, what is actually worth it to be disciplined in? You know what I mean? Because sometimes very quickly we say, oh yeah, I want to do this, and in this I also want to be good, and this is also important. And so we have a whole list, and then we just don't manage to maintain all these good thoughts we had initially for ourselves. But what is really important for me now? And I purposely emphasize now. Why now? Because by now we all would have noticed we are living in a very special time. So what is important for me now? I mentioned this expression here before, so some who listened to that before may bear listen to that a second time. I like it very much, this expression, now is a season of change. Because it's not always the right season to change, where deep inner change is really possible. But as there is seasons for fruits, there's also a season for change. Now, for example, there's the season for cherries, right? You get cherries and they're so tasty, but the season actually for cherries is very short. You only get them for a short time. And you miss out buying them when they are available. You go to the shop and they would tell you, sorry, too late. Season is gone. And when it comes to inner change, we don't want that, isn't it? We don't want to miss out the chance to change. And why am I so convinced that now is the season for change? Different reason. All the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge that we need for change is available. I'm a soul. I'm not this body. It's not that I have a soul. I am this soul. I am spiritual. So all this knowledge, we take people through 7 days of a course, and with this knowledge you can change anything about yourself. I'm a soul. Okay, how does the soul function inside? Mind, intellect, habits. What is the interconnection? It's all not too complicated to understand. It's easy to understand. Knowledge is available. Second, God's power is available. God's light is available. When is God's light the most available? Then when it's the most needed. Not God as the parent of his children, of all the souls. He would make himself available then when it's really needed. Is it needed now or not? It is. And the third reason why now it's the season of change is certainly we in the West, we have enjoyed, we have experienced the joy of, I don't mean this in a cynical way, we have experienced the joy of a materialistic life, not in a negative way. We have the feeling, the experience how it is to live a good life, not a life in poverty. So we can easily let go of striving for more material experiences. We also got a little bit disillusioned. Disillusioned. We got a bit disillusioned. Okay, it's good to have and it's important to have, but it's not that what brings me happiness. Happiness comes from inside. So now is a season of change and we can make use of this energy. We can make use of this energy. Many want to change. Many do change. And look at this beautiful statement of Daddy Chanki. So what do we want to change? Daddy Chanki says, know the life you want to live and live that life. See? Know the life you want to live. I really love that. I mean, it couldn't be simpler, but it's so true. How I must be aware. This is where I want my life to go to. In this direction, I want to lead my life, the development of my life. Otherwise, how you will reach somewhere randomly if you don't have this aim. And that's why when I say self-discipline, let's not pick too many things and be too ambitious. I want to be self-disciplined in this and this and this, but take out what is the most important thing for you. Know the life you want to live, and then live that life. How do we know what life we want to live? I may give you a suggestion, and I dare to promise you, if you do that, you will get a deep answer from inside. And take this question as know how you want to be. And then be ready for change. And I don't mean it's really something inside. It's not about, oh, I know what life I want to live. I think I have to quit my job. No, it mustn't be at all. You can be on the same job and live the life you want to live. So, and now this is a 4-step process that I'm going to suggest. And this is now the first step. The first step is that for maybe a whole day or half a day or certainly 2 hours, probably half a day, you go for a walk with yourself, only with yourself, and you carry this question in your heart. What life do I actually want to live? How do I want to be? How do I want to be? Because the external situations, external life, we can control in a very limited way. But what is inside, we can definitely get control over that. So when you go for a walk for half a day and you just carry this question in you, you keep repeating this question, what life do I actually want to live? How do I want to be? Then you will get a question that comes from, an answer that comes from deep inside. This is the first step of the process. You take yourself for a walk, half a day, and you enter this walk with this question in your heart. Okay? Second step. It's easy Okay. Excuse me, we just lost our internet connection. Okay, I see that everybody still seems to be here. We lost internet connection and so we are back. Yeah, we missed step 2. Someone writes we missed step 2. We didn't continue, of course. Okay, the second step. It's very... And please, when you listen to that, don't take this as hard work. It's about serving the self. You know, when we do that, we only serve the self, the true self. And if we want life to serve us, how can this happen if not even we ourselves serve us? So in the evening and in the morning, you check, is the enthusiasm for my goal, is it still there? Oh, excuse me, I actually wanted to give examples for the first step. When I say know the life you want to live, know how you want to be, what answers could you get after half a day walking? There could be, for example, I really want to actually live a life that's more simple. Sometimes people long for simplicity. I want to simplify my life. Or I want to have more time for the self. Or I want a life, I want more silence. I want more silence. I want to talk less because it conserves the energy in the soul. And then only afterwards, then you can think of, okay, what would that lead to? That leads that you would have the courage, need the courage when your working colleagues at work invite you for lunch. You say, thank you very much. Today I'm happy to have my picnic outside on my own because I need a break for myself. I'm just giving examples. Someone else would have the feeling, I want to be more true to myself. I say only yes when I mean yes. Someone else would say, I want to be more generous. I'm only dealing with myself. I want to have an open, generous heart, cooperating with others. So, what is it that you need now at that time? Second step, every morning, every evening you check, do I have still this enthusiasm for this aim? And then when you feel that the enthusiasm merged a little bit, you don't feel the power anymore. These are the 3 points. You increase again the love. You increase your understanding. You remind yourself, this is why I wanted that. This is why I have chosen that aim for me. Or you increase the appreciation for that aim. And you listen to your call again, how it says from inside, do it now. You pushed it off for so many years, do it now. Be what you want to be. This is the second step. Is that clear? Increasing enthusiasm for your aim every morning and every evening. I do that, I must say, I try to do that very consciously every single morning. When I open my eyes, what do I think? Lately, I feel that the soul needs power. So when I wake up, I just keep thinking like I'm a powerful soul. I have power. I can control my thoughts. I have the power inside. So for you, it would be something different maybe. I'm a peaceful soul. No matter what, the whole day, I maintain peace. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I am. Or happy. Maybe you're surrounded by people that are discontent and unhappy. And then, and because we are socialized in that way, it feels sometimes, no, I don't have the right to be happy if everybody's happy around me. But it's totally true, totally false. I must be happy. How else can I be of a positive influence of others if I'm like this as well? So in the morning, you open your eyes. I'm a happy soul. I have the right to be happy. I don't need happy people for me to be happy. Happiness is my true nature. Because in order to get used to that, it's worthwhile to write maybe 5 to 10 powerful sentences. You write this down, and in the morning you read that for yourself. Then you get very quickly into that. This is a very, very beneficial method because the morning is the basis for the whole day. And what you feed in the soul in the morning, it becomes a strong foundation for the whole day. So you can think of what is the most powerful sentence I could create around happiness. It could be something like, rather I'd live, rather I'd die, than losing my happiness. Or, you can try anything to make me unhappy, you won't be successful. You can write these things with happiness, with peace, with whatever. Okay? Second step. The third step is making daily time to love the self. Lately we had a talk with Dipti from South Africa, and she would say that make daily time to love yourself. I haven't become an expert enough to give you many examples how to do that. But we can question ourselves, how can I give love to the self? Definitely a very loving self-talk would be something. Making time. Making time. Making time, I mean really sit 10 minutes, 15 minutes without WhatsApp, without mobile, anything, but just with you. And just ask yourself, how am I? How do I feel? Or give yourself nice thoughts. Or take yourself for a walk alone. And just experiment with this expression, which is just an expression. Make time to love the self. Because if there is love for the self, there must be an expression of that love, isn't it? If you tell someone, I really love you, and the other one says, well, I didn't notice, and then I think something is not real about this love. So I must notice the love I have for myself. And when we do that, I come with this a little bit late, it's okay. when we do that. And then slowly, slowly, we come to our aim closer. Because very logically, when this is the place where I am at, yeah? And the aim I have for myself would certainly be an aim that is energetically higher than where I am at now, isn't it? That means it needs energy. I need energy to reach this aim. So, and not a one-day input, but every day. And when we do that, first step 2 and 3, just increase enthusiasm every morning, every evening. Then certainly, maybe I have a lapse one day, it doesn't matter. But suddenly every day you would come a little bit closer to your aim because you give energy in it. And again, don't associate that with hard work, but with love for the self. A love for the self. The 4th step is just to be mindful of influences. Be mindful of influences. As you put energy in here, that brings you ever closer to your aim. The aim of living the life you want to live. There's also energies that would pull you away from this aim. For example, friends who don't want you to change. And they would say, oh, come on, that's not so important. Come with us. When you want to give up drinking alcohol, you may want to give up eating meat, for example. Then you have to be aware that people need example. When you bring about change in yourself, it's not only for yourself. This change is also for others. And you create this energy. And if you let go of your aim only because someone makes a bit fun, well, where are the examples that we now need in this time? It would be you who are sitting here and listen to these kind of talks, isn't it? Who else would it be? There's nobody else. It must be us who are the examples. And actually, they see when you bring about change, and they notice and they appreciate it. Even no matter what comes out of the mouth, in the heart there is appreciation because they know it's right. They know it's right. And maybe not now, but a little bit later, they would be able to bring about change as well. But only if we don't give up ourselves. They need to have guiding stars at work, in our families, among our friends. They need guiding stars. So other people are influences. The atmosphere can influence us. We just need to be aware of that. The atmosphere can influence us. So for that, it's good to build up a strong aura. For example, when your aim is, I want to live a life of happiness, then create an aura of happiness around you, so that atmosphere cannot take your energy away. And then the 3rd point of influence I would like to mention is self-deception. Self-deception. I think it's not so important. Yesterday I really thought it was very important, but now today I realize it's not important. This is self-deception. Or definitely I'll do it. Not now, but definitely I'll do it. Probably next week I'll start. Self-deception. Another self-deception, I can't. I can't. I don't have the power, I don't have the strength. Self-deception. If your inner call is to be something, then it's guaranteed that there is the strength inside to be it also. Okay, these are the 4 steps. I think you got them all, huh? Yeah? Okay, so thanks for listening. We finish with a very short meditation. I create inside a feeling of complete self-acceptance. An acceptance that has not a single tiny question mark. An acceptance that allows weaknesses to be there. An acceptance that lets me live as a whole being, integrated with all my personality traits. Now let us move to self-appreciation. I appreciate my uniqueness in this world. My uniqueness in this world. It's very important that I live my uniqueness, because there's no one else to replace me. In this world, let me play and appreciate my personal, unique part. My unique way to contribute to this world, to this big play on the world stage. From self-appreciation, let us move to self-love. The love for the self shines powerfully and lets the weaknesses appear as very tiny and insignificant. Maybe I cannot 100% feel the self-love. But let me aim for that. And let me feel absolutely good with myself, without anyone's approval, anyone's praise. Self-sufficient, self-confident. I feel the deep peace in myself. I feel love for myself, a love for the soul, spiritual love. And in my heart, for some time, I carry the question, what is the life I want to live? How do I want to be? And let me live that. Let me be that. Om Shanti. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. You may feel like having another 5 minutes for yourself and just reflect on what you heard. Maybe you start getting answers as to where, in what field you want to increase your self-discipline. Don't use this energy for something insignificant, but something very important that's needed right now. Okay, all the best. We keep